Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Wednesday, the 11th of September 2025. So, complete CPI preview and how Goldman is trading the last big event before the Fed, which is next week. Tomorrow's print will decide if the Fed cuts the rates by 25 or 50 basis points. And tomorrow's print is today's print. It's the release of the CPI numbers today out at 1:30. So they won't be looking for the 2.9. They're going to hopefully somewhere it's going to stay around previous at 2.7. They're looking for a softer number, a lower number across the board here, so they can get that 50 basis point cut. Other news, bonds, Bitcoin and bullion bid on call PPI. Ellison tops Elon as the world's richest man. And US stocks mixed with the S&P and Nasdaq Composite printing fresh record highs after cooler PPI. No surprise there. Stocks mixed and bonds bid after soft PPI there as well. So new all-time highs once more. So let's have a look at those in the Dow and the S&P 500. So in the Dow, we can see that we have a new record high at 45,803. 46,000 is not too far away, and it wouldn't take a lot to do that with a 50 basis point cut next week, or softer CPI numbers today could see a reversal back to the all-time high as well. There's no stopping this at the moment. We spiked up in the cash market to create that all-time high, but then we saw some selling in the cash market ahead of today's CPI numbers, and also the market a bit lower overnight as well, currently trading below the DP and the close there. And in the German DAX, the weakness continues. The market is sideways there, struggling to move to the upside. Obviously, the protests in France are having an impact as well, plus the French economy. Europe is not in a good place, despite what you hear on the TV and mainstream media. 30-minute chart, we moved up for a couple of hours and then the selling entered. We stabilized until the Dow futures came on board, and then the PPI numbers, and then down we went, and the market is currently sitting at yesterday's low as well. So a very important level for the German DAX. It needs to hold at the low of yesterday, and failure to do this, we'll see prices moving lower once more. And another all-time high, 6,557 for the S&P 500. The market is showing signs of a bit of overbought conditions there despite this, but it's above the 5-bar moving average, that's for sure. So again, CPI numbers 130 to determine this. Just like the Dow, we see the all-time high being made in the 130 release of the PPI numbers, and then the market moving lower in the cash market until the end of trade, where the markets come back. It's still below the DP overnight, but it's not anywhere near yesterday's low at the time of recording. Meanwhile, in the UK, the market trying to move higher but struggling to hold above the previous day's highs, which you can see there's a bit of a pattern there. So some still showing some weakness around in this market. 30-minute charts, we see prices trading sideways. They then move higher, but then follow the US with the PPI numbers to the downside. At the moment we're above the low, which is far better positioned than the German DAX. And you can see that the market is also sitting above the 200 MA there as well. In the US dollar, prices are currently sideways, again waiting for those CPI numbers to be released later today. So let's have a look at the metals for yesterday. So yesterday we had another sideways day, but also note that we're getting lower highs at the moment as well, and the market's looking rather weakish overnight as well. We are stuck in the sideways range though, so it's a matter of whether the range will hold or we see a bit of a shakeout to the downside. In the 30-minute charts, there's your PPI numbers and then the usual LBMA manipulation and fix, but the market's stuck in this range. We have broken the 200 MA, the DP, and the $41 level there. It was a very important level actually, so the fact that that's been broken, we could see the market going down to 40.50 during today, depending on those CPI numbers. Gold holding quite nicely there. It's still got the new all-time high at 36.74 and above the 5-bar moving average at the moment. But again, in the 30-minute chart, we are moving to the downside, so watch yesterday's low for the metals market as well. So in the gold-silver ratio, we had a bit of a red bar yesterday. Today we're going to get a green one, moving to the upside by the looks of things, as silver is already starting to decline faster than the price of gold, as it heads into that 130 time where all focus will be on the release of the latest CPI numbers. So have a quick look at yesterday's trades in the German DAX 2-minute chart. So in the pre-market yesterday, the market was range bound. We got to 7 a.m. Prices spiked up and then came back, sitting on the close and then back up. So it's already giving a clue as to what it was going to do. And you'll see there the market whipped down, whipped back up, and then got stuck in a sideways range for many minutes. It's probably going to be the same today as well. We did spike to the upside. We traded up to the high, but immediately the selling came into the market. Prices were then moved down, but then came back and had another look at the high. And again, we see the selling coming in at the high. And then we get a quick sell signal to the downside at the 200 MA. And we see the buying coming back into the market at this level. 200 MA is an important level. Market spiked back up to the high and then just manages to get through. But once again, we start to see some selling coming into the market and prices making its way back down again. However, this time prices managed to hold at the high. They spike down and then say, okay, we'll have another look at the 200 MA, which they do. And then towards the closing, and you can see them buying back in there. So the market spiking down after the close above the high. The high was very difficult to stay above, as it was earlier in the trading session. We continue down to the DP, quick shakeout down there, and that was to do with Putin retaliating against what Poland had said with regards to the so-called flying of or using Poland's airspace. So that was a response from Putin. The markets didn't like that, and then once that was out of the way, we then got into a sideways move, spike up there on the PPI numbers, and then prices sideways going into the afternoon session. That seems to be a bit of a pattern at the moment, these sideways moves. So the market then goes down, tests the low, which you can see there, having broken down there, and then through the low, which is not uncommon either, to bring the market back. So they'll trade to the low, then your traders will think, okay, I'll get in, put the stops below, stops are taken out, and then the market reversing and coming back up. And then you see there another potential short, but this time the short doesn't continue much past the psychological level there. And again, you see the green coming in as the profits are being taken by the traders. And then into the late session and then into the evening, the market just trades sideways there just to get back above yesterday's low. So overnight prices are still sitting at yesterday's low that's been made, trying to hold there at the moment. Again, I'm not expecting too much until we get the release of these CPI numbers, because all focus is going to be on those at 1:30 p.m. And after that, of course, we switch to next week, which we'll be able to gauge from these numbers released later today whether it's going to be 25 or 50 basis point cut. Okay, that's it for this one. Have a great day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.